Dear viewers, the topic for discussion today is rapid tests for antimicrobial susceptibility. So, when a sample comes to the laboratory, we go for the diagnosis of this infection in the laboratory, bacterial or fungal infection. In the laboratory, we process a sample for microscopy like unstained preparation or gram stain or AFB staining, ZN staining. Then we process a sample for culture. We put the culture on plates or broths, and after the colonies grow on the plates, we take them for doing the antimicrobial susceptibility testing. So that is also a part of testing in the microbiology laboratory. Although there are other rapid methods also like DNA technologies, molecular techniques, etc. for doing the sensitivity testing, but still now which depend on the sensitivity testing by the conventional as well as the automated systems. The automated systems give a rapid identification of the bacteria and rapid antimicrobial susceptibility testing. So our topic of discussion will be based on these automated techniques. So what are the automated techniques that are available? For processing blood and body fluid cultures, we generally depend in the conventional system, we have to inoculate the different broths with the blood or body fluid, and then each and every day we have to look for the turbidity to detect whether organisms have grown or not. So that is manual. So that takes time. So to detect the turbidity, it may take around 3 to 5 days time. But in these automated systems that are now available, the systems that are available include the BACTEC system, the BACT-ALERT system, and the Versatrix system. The BACTEC system is a fluorometric system, BACT-ALERT system is a colorimetric system, and Versatrix is a gas capture system. So in these systems, the blood and body fluids can be processed, and they can be, the detection of growth is much faster than in the conventional system. So these systems, particularly the BACT-ALERT system and Versatrix system, can also be used for AFB culture, that is culture of the mycobacteria, the organisms which cause tuberculosis and allied infections. So mycobacterial culture can be done faster than in the conventional system in these rapid systems, including the sensitivity testing of these mycobacteria. So these systems help in rapid detection of aerobic, anaerobic bacteria and also the fungi, particularly the yeasts like Candida and Cryptococcus. What happens? The vials into which we inoculate the samples, they are barcoded vials. They are inoculated aseptically with the specimen, then scanned in the barcode scanner of the equipment before introduction into, or when we remove the vials from the instrument. And inside the instrument, they are incubated at 37 degrees Celsius because that is the body temperature, human body temperature, which is most convenient for most of the pathogenic organisms to grow. With continuous agitation helps the growth of the microorganisms. Continuous agitation is achieved within this equipment. And the rate of recovery of microbes is higher and faster by these systems than by the conventional system. And what are the benefits of automation and the rapid tests? The benefits are accuracy, rapidity, sensitivity. They are very sensitive instruments. Ease of workflow. They are very user friendly. Low contamination rates. There will be less chance of contamination because there is less manual manipulation of the samples. They are cost effective in the long run. Although the systems may cost, they are expensive, but these tests will be cost effective in the long run and they reduce the healthcare costs. Rapid availability of antimicrobial susceptibility test results improve patient outcomes and they reduce the mortality rates because of the rapidity and accuracy of the diagnosis. So there will be reduction in the request for laboratory tests also, and reduction in the laboratory testing time by the technicians and the microbiologists because of automated QC, that is quality control, which is a part and parcel of all the automated systems that are available. All perform internal quality control of the reagents and the system. So there will be reduced number of invasive procedures in patients, particularly those who are admitted in intensive care units, and reduction in hospital stay of the patient. and earlier initiation of adequate antimicrobial therapy with the narrowest spectrum of the antibiotics that is available reduces the emergence and transmission of resistant organisms. So in the long run, there will be better patient care and better patient outcome, and in the long run, the patient will stay for a fewer days in the hospital. He or she will be discharged faster, and all will reduce the cost both to the patient as well as to the hospital. So in the long run, they are cost effective also. So this is the back-tailored 3D system which of bioMérieux. There are different systems. Some are 60 station systems. They allow 60 vials to be entered. Some are 240 stations, some are 120 stations. And in these systems, we can do the blood and body fluid culture in some chambers and rapid sensitivity and testing of the mycobacteria in some other chambers. So they allow dual systems like antimicrobial susceptibility testing of mycobacteria and rapid testing of blood and body fluid cultures. The technology that is followed in the back-tailored system is colorimetric technology. So what happens, the organisms will grow in the media that is inside the system. It is a broth, and they will produce carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide will react with water and form carbonic acid, which will reduce the pH of the media. And when the pH goes down below a critical limit, then the sensor, which is usually at the bottom of the vial, the sensor changes color from green to yellow. So that is detected by the system and it flags the bottle as positive. So if there is positive, it comes usually within 24 hours of inoculation of the vial. In 90% of the cases, it is within 24 hours. Sometimes it comes within as early as within 4 to 10 hours. So it reduces the detection of the bacterial growth. And coming to the rapid AFB culture system, we have the BACTEC 460 radiometric system and the MJIT system, which is a fluorometric system, as well as the back-tailored 3D colorimetric system and Versatrac gas capture systems for this. These are more sensitive. There will be faster growth in the liquid media. The media used is generally Middlebrooks 7H9 broth. And we can detect mycobacteria as early as within 2 weeks, sometimes even within 1 week. The earliest detection is possible within 7 to 9 days, while the conventional system takes around 4 to 6 weeks, if not more, sometimes even 8 weeks to detect the mycobacterial growth. So after the growth comes, the mycobacterial growth, we can identify as typical or atypical mycobacteria by noting the growth in paranitrobenzoic acid containing media. And then we can also do the sensitivity testing for the first and second line anti-tubercular drugs. And that will also be done within 3 to 12 days. And if we use the molecular techniques, then the reports are given much faster. Molecular techniques, it needs only hours to give a report. So for TB, molecular methods available are the nucleic acid probes, but the better is the PCR system, that is polymerase chain reaction system, by which we can detect the presence of tuberculosis, mycobacterium tuberculosis, or the atypical mycobacteria in the patient samples within hours, and then also process the cultures for the drug sensitivity, which by the conventional system will take a much longer time. So, but the main drawback of these systems, rapid systems, is that they are expensive. But in the long run, they will prove to be cost effective to the patient, because the the treatment can be started very soon, and the patients also get cured sooner. So now coming to the antimicrobial sensitivity testing methods, commonly in the laboratory we perform the disc diffusion technique, which is not a rapid technique. So we see the zones of inhibition around the discs that we put, each disc for each antibiotic. It is impregnated with the antibiotic, particular concentration of the antibiotics. In the liquid media, we can determine the minimum inhibitory concentration of the antibiotic that will just inhibit the growth of the bacteria. So we do it by a series of tubes where there is doubling concentration or doubling dilution of the antibiotics. Say here we are it's starting from 0.25, then 0.5, 1, 2, and 4. And this media, this liquid media are inoculated with the bacterial sample, the bacterial growth when it is isolated, pure cultures are coming on the plate. So we are taking the isolate and making the suspension in the peptone water or nutrient broth and in different concentrations. So the tube which shows just clear, that is no turbidity after overnight incubation, that tube gives the concentration of the antibiotic present in that tube is the minimum inhibitory concentration. So in this case, it is 2 milligram per liter or microgram per milliliter. So this is the conventional Kirby-Bauer method diffusion technique that we follow in most of the laboratories. But this is a more sophisticated technique. It is the E-test strip, where the bacteria, the E-test strip is impregnated with gradually increasing concentration of the antibiotic. There is a gradient of the antibiotic on each E-test strip. Each E-test strip will be for a particular antibiotic, and there will be a zone of inhibition which is epsilon in shape. That is why the name is epsilon test strips. So the point at where the bacterial growth will cut the E-test strip, and the concentration which is mentioned against that point, that is the MIC of the antibiotic for that particular bacterial isolate. So E-test strip will give exact MIC value of the antibiotic, but it is very expensive. So if we use many E-test strips, that will increase the cost of testing. So we are going for the dilution techniques in most of the laboratories, and most of the automated techniques are based on these dilution methods only. The macro and micro broad dilution techniques are available, of which micro dilution technique is followed in most of the automated systems. So before that, what is MIC? MIC is the minimum inhibitory concentration, that is the least concentration of antibiotic that will inhibit the visible growth of an organism after overnight incubation. And what is MBC? It is the minimum bactericidal concentration. That is the concentration of the antibiotic that will prevent the growth after subculture of the organism to an antibiotic-free medium. The MBC is usually equal to the MIC or 2 to 4 times the MIC. So it kills the bacteria, not just inhibits the growth of the bacteria. So this is a broth microdilution technique, which I already discussed. And these are the CLSI, because most of the laboratories follows the Clinical and Laboratory Standards Institute guidelines, that is CLSI guidelines. So CLSI guidelines are revised every year. So according to CLSI guidelines, we report the antibiotic sensitivity status of an isolate to an antibiotic by either S, that is sensitive, I, that is intermediate sensitive, or R, that is resistant, after consulting the relevant interpretation charts. The zones of inhibition should not be given in the reports because that creates confusion. But if MIC values are given, particularly by this E-test strip technology or by the automated techniques, the MIC values may be reported in the reports because they help the physicians to select the dose of the antibiotics. So when we do the sensitivity testing, we have also to do the control strengths. We have to have the control strengths because we need to have the positive and negative control. So the control strengths that should be available to each and every laboratory includes the ATCC control strains of E. coli, Pseudomonas aeruginosa, Staphylococcus aureus, and Klebsiella pneumoniae, which is a ESBL producing control strain. Besides that, if the lab processes for fastidious organisms like Haemophilus, they should have the control strains also. If they do the anaerobic culture, they should have Clostridium perfringens control strain. If they do fungal culture, they have to have Candida albicans and other Candida control strains. So the benefits of reporting the minimum inhibitory concentrations is that the quantitative MICs, they allows the dosing adjustments. For serious systemic infections, particularly in patients who are in sepsis or in septic shock, they are suffering from systemic infections and they are admitted in critical care units. There, the quantitative MICs can direct the therapy levels to remain above the reported MIC. So the drug concentration, the antibiotic concentration, when the doctor gives the antibiotic to the patient, that antibiotic concentration in the blood or serum or the body fluid should remain at least 2 to 4 times the MIC for the maximum amount of time of the therapy. And these MICs can also detect the emerging resistance in the bacteria. And they also show the shifts in resistance in different bacteria, whether the population of bacteria are becoming more resistant to a particular group of antibiotics. The microbiology instruments and methods that are available, automated and manual microbiology methods are available. Automated systems are used at most larger institutions where the volume of cultures performed per month is several hundred or thousand. This is true for different hospitals particularly and large diagnostic centers. The automated systems in microbiology lab generally use the principles of colorimetry, fluorometry, or turbidimetry. They may also follow some techniques also follow radiometric techniques. Manual systems are usually used in smaller laboratories or as backups to automated systems in larger laboratories. What are the systems that are available for doing the identification and susceptibility testing of different microbes, bacteria, and fungal isolates? We have the semi-automated systems like Mini API, Trek Panel, and AutoScan. But the automated systems are now available in many of the large laboratories. We have the Walkaway Plus, that is also known as Microscan, Phoenix, and the most commonly used system is the Vitek system, Vitek 2 compact system. So this is how the Mini API bioMérieux system looks like. This is the Microscan system of Siemens, and here also you can see the AutoScan system, which is a semi-automated system, and Microscan is an automated system. And this is the Microscan system. We can detect the sensitivity and the identification of the bacteria in the same panel. So there will be a panel, gram-negative panel for detecting gram-negative organisms and their sensitivity, say E. coli, along with its sensitivity and MICs, and the gram-positive panel for detecting the gram-positive bacteria like Staphylococcus aureus or Enterococcus. So this is the reader where the panels after overnight incubation are introduced for taking the reading, and it will give the identification of the organism along with the sensitivity, and the sensitivity along with the breakpoint MICs. And this is the Vitek 2 compact system of bioMérieux, which is available in many of the laboratories. And this is a very compact system and very user-friendly system. This is a Vitek 2 compact card. There are two separate cards, one for identification and one for sensitivity. Identification, we can detect the organisms gram-negative bacilli, gram-positive cocci, and the yeasts also, particularly Candida and Cryptococcus species. And susceptibility cards are also available to perform the susceptibility testing. So the principle is the transmittance readings. They measure the changes in light transmission due to organism growth and the reactions within the wells. These are the wells in the Vitek 2 compact card. Each slot is a well where the organism grows. And reactions, different biochemical reactions and the reactions with the antibiotics occur within these wells. Periodic light transmittance samplings of the same well measure organism growth by how much light is prevented from going through the well. The transmittance or colorimetry optics firmware measures the relative level of light that passes through a well in a 64 well card containing microbiological samples. 16 readings are taken for each test after every 15 minutes. And the readings are measured in raw transmittance units and sent to algorithms within the system which interpret the results. And there is an expert system which detects the different types of resistant organisms and their what type of enzymes they are producing or how they are becoming resistant. So expert system is very important for the interpretation of the reports. And this is the CLSI 2013 guidelines for different gram-negative bacilli, Enterobacteriaceae, Pseudomonas, Acinetobacter. All these breakpoints or the cutoffs are available up to which the antibiotic concentration is considered sensitive and beyond which it is considered resistant. So these are the antibiotic interpretation charts that are available for the gram-negatives, gram-positives. And this is how a report looks like. It is a Vitek generated report, looks like this. It gives the MIC of the bacteria along with the interpretation. MIC of the antibiotic for a particular bacterial isolate along with the interpretation. For example, this report shows Enterococcus faecium, which is resistant to most of the antibiotics except vancomycin, teicoplanin, and linezolid. So this is another report, E. coli isolate, which is an ESBL producer, CTXM-like, and the sensitivity report along with the MICs is given. And now we are facing many, we have reached the end of the antibiotics. We are getting bugs which are resistant to carbapenems, which were considered to be the last in the treatment of different types of bacteria. So carbapenem-resistant Enterobacteriaceae, carbapenem-resistant Pseudomonas, and Acinetobacter are very rampant in our hospitals and as well as in the community. So there are different systems to detect the carbapenem-resistant Enterobacteriaceae. There is a Carba-NP test, which is an enzymatic test, a biochemical test, and here it can detect it very rapidly within 2 hours. We have other methods like spectrophotometry and the molecular methods, which are mainly PCR based to detect carbapenem resistance. And this is a report, the Candida tropicalis, and along with its sensitivity and interpretation. It is given by the Vitek system, the printout from the Vitek machine. So what are the other more rapid tests that are now being available in different parts of the world, but not yet much into the laboratories of our country? We have the PCR-based techniques. These are available in many of the laboratories. Conventional and real-time PCR, they detect the presence of genetic determinants of resistance like MEK gene in case of MRSA, that is methicillin-resistant Staph aureus. The VAN-A and VAN-B genes, which mediate resistance to vancomycin in enterococci, and carbapenems encoding genes like KPC, Klebsiella pneumoniae carbapenems, then New Delhi type of metallo-beta-lactamase, and other types of genes, AMC, etc., in Acinetobacter, Pseudomonas, Klebsiella, and E. coli. Next system that is available is the matrix-assisted laser desorption or ionization time-of-flight mass spectrometry method, MALDI-TOF-MS in short. It identifies the molecules based on their time of flight through a vacuum tube after laser irradiation of a matrix co-crystallized with the sample. The TOF allows that time of flight allows for determination of mass by charge ratio of the ions present, and a spectrum of the sample is generated. It can be used to detect the different types of beta-lactamases and vancomycin-resistant enterococci. Other methods that are available are the microarray system. They identify the presence of specific nucleic acid sequences using complementary oligonucleotides. And the microfluidics advances in bioengineering and nanotechnology have facilitated miniaturization of molecular assays, and highly automated lab-on-chip platforms utilize very small volumes of the reagent and the analytes, and approximate MIC values can be obtained within as early as within 3 to 4 hours of getting the sample. Other methods are the cell lysis based approaches and the whole genome sequencing, which are also available, but these are very expensive, not yet available in most of the laboratories other than the molecular techniques. So these are all regarding the rapid testing that are available for the different antimicrobial agents, antimicrobial susceptibility testing. Thank you.